this video got a lot longer than I had thought. I think it's a new record for my videos. We are over on 1 hour right now, and I'm not finished editing in, so it will be around 1 hour. So I'm putting chapters into the video, so you can just go in the description down there and just go for the chapters that I have named. If you just want to skip to the end and see the tiltrotator behind me working, homemade tiltrotator, you can do that. But for you that want the build process, I have done it a little bit slower, not so much time lapse and stuff like that, so we can just keep track and see everything that are in the tiltrotator and how it works and so on. So yeah, and if you haven't seen the earlier parts, this is part 4. You will see the link up there for the earlier parts of this homemade tiltrotator build. So just enjoy the video. Well, let's start taking everything apart and start welding. Wow, that was a lot of welding, but we have finally gotten somewhere. And yeah, this part is finished welded. This is finished welded. I was thinking about making a few gussets down like this, so maybe I will do that even and call this done. But everything still fits. And now it's just the pistons left, so oh, it's a mess in here, but now I just need to disassemble this, put these ones in so they don't leak, fill them up with water and weld this in place. I did post a community post where I got someone worried about with this wobbly thing here, it will bend the piston when we are using it. So I'm thinking to remove this, take it out, measure this, and have my friend with a lathe make me an insert here that I can put in that will fit in between these, so the piston can't wobble. But I will just try and mount everything now just to see how it fits and how much it wobbles, just to see if it's something I should worry about right now. So I need to grind a little bit right here, but you can see that there is no wobbly bobbly up here. It's so tight in between here that it's like nothing. So I'm not worried about this. Let's just weld this and we try with this. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's the easiest way right now, so I think it will work. I hope it will work, probably. Oh man, I'm really looking forward to clean up this garage a little bit. It's getting messy quick when you're working on projects like this. So hopefully when I fill this one up with water while I'm welding it, I hopefully won't be ruining the cylindric form of this and stuff like that. So here's the inner workings of this piston. Let's just put it somewhere where it doesn't get dirty. In here, I'm not quite sure where that is. So as you can see, this one is filled all the way up with water, so that should keep it cool, hopefully a little bit longer. And yeah, we just test and see if it works. So this I will just MIG weld. We don't need the big heat that I'm needing for the other parts with the stick welder, so this will hopefully work perfect. Who knows? I think I will just weld a little bit, then a little bit, then a little bit, just to make sure that it doesn't get too hot. It's not going to be pretty. Normally it would be a lot easier welding it lying down, but a little bit problematic getting the water to stay in then. Water is boiling. Probably a good time to let it cool down a little bit. Switch the sides. Let's just hope we don't warp it too bad. So, I think this turned out pretty great. Now the water is in here again, so it can cool down, and we'll just let it cool down a little bit. Then we will try and insert the rod, or oil it up, insert the rod again, and see how it works. Hopefully it still works. And then we just have one more to go. So, just in case, if there are any small imperfections or anything from welding. So if you take a look, you can see where it has been hot down here. So this is nothing worse than this welding, so shouldn't be any problems, but just in case, we'll just run this small hone a little trip up and down, just to be better safe than sorry. All marks are gone, so just leave it here for the next one. Alright, seems like it goes just fine. Then we are ready for the next one. Then both pistons are welded, and yeah, looks great. I could actually see on the seal sitting all the way down here on this nut, there was a little bit melted from when I probably tacked this one on. So I should probably just have tacked it down here, but we will see if it seals or not. If it's leaking, then we have to do something else, but we will try it for now. No, it's just getting this one. I will pull it apart again I tested that everything is fitting. It is a little bit tight because these ones warped a little bit. So it's not easy to move, but it's movable. So I think that will wear when we get some grease in it and everything. That will probably be okay. So right now there is just a lot of grinding to do. Grind these welds that I don't want sticking out like this. I have to grind a little bit in between here so the piston will fit in here. Down here we'll just run the wire brush. I will get all the spattern away with the grinder, and yeah, then we are ready for paint. Then we can start masking up what's not supposed to be painted, and we can start painting everything. We are actually getting close to reassembling everything. All the welding are now done, so that's really great. Now it's the tedious part. That's cleaning everything and welding it. So that will be a couple of days, I think, with afternoons. So I won't bore you with that. I think I will get back to you when I have grinded everything and wire brushed it and everything is ready for paint. Take a look at it, and after that it's just painting. Check it out. Then I got everything cleaned off. So I got the most of the rust off this. So now I just will clean everything with some brake cleaner, and then we will give it a coat of primer, and after the primer we will paint it black. And I am wondering if I should paint this green thing another color. I'm thinking the green rotor and the pistons in one color and the rest in black. So I think we will do something like that. Yeah, that was a lot of grinding, but luckily it's done now. So here everything is painted, ready to start assembling. And yes, you just saw me do. I cleaned this one off a little bit, and yeah, I do not see much wear on this one for everything I used it for. I can see a little bit tooth mark right there, but it's not deformed or anything, so it looks pretty good. And here you can also see how it works. This part does turn around, so this is where the top is connected to, and this can turn around like this, and the bottom is actually turning. The top is in staying still, and this is turning, and this is connected in here. I can't feel any sloppiness or anything in it. Feels real good still. I guess we are at the third year with this one now, so pretty happy with that. The seal here is pretty good, so I just cleaned everything off because it's been standing in here when I've been grinding and stuff, and yeah, we can see on the floor and everything else there is a lot of dust from grinding, so nice to get it clean before we start putting everything back together. So I think we will just start with now is installing the top on this one, getting everything ready there with the engine and everything, and then next step will be start building it up with this plate that we have painted and made. So this one warped a bit during welding, so I had actually to use a bottle jack and push everything out afterwards to get it to fit. But before I painted it, it was fitting really snug, so that's pretty good. This one I haven't welded much on, just these ears for the pistons. So yeah, that's nice. Let's see. Right now it is, it should be this way. Nice snug fit on. And then we just have two small screws. This is just for keeping this one in place. It's not load bearing, so that's just for keeping everything here like one piece. Oh, it's been drying for days, but yeah, who cares? It will look worse in a short time. So you can see the slop we have now is because the engine ain't holding this in place. So it's actually the worm gear that is moving forward and backward here. So let's get the engine in. So this is this flange here was a part of the engine, and I welded this on the flange, so everything goes back together like this. So on the bolts for the engine here, I should probably had some Norlock rings or something on them also, because they are vibrating loose after some time, so I have to keep an eye on them. So it'd be nice to use a little bit Loctite on them. This is the green type. A little bit fiddling getting these ones in, but so I've been debating myself a little bit what I should do with the top here, if I should remove the paint from here and just get a metal on metal seal, but that part has paint, and so I think we will try with paint on paint first. It's not a good idea, but it should be bare metal, because that will make a better connection, because now we have some paint that can chip away and that can make everything loose again and stuff like that. But now you can see this one is covering here, and my thought is here I can just make a bolt clamping this together. On the old model I had welded on some metal going down here and put some threads in it, so I could put a screw under here, but I don't know, I think it's maybe easier to just put a bolt through everything. We'll see what we will do there. And the two bolts right here I have to wait with until we have the top on, because it won't fit the bolts that are going in. The tilt isn't fitting with the bolts in, so just like to start them by hand, just to be sure that they are finding the threads and everything before we are putting a lot of force on them with. So here is the no-lock rings in a bigger configuration. It's for the tilt. So as you can see, there are two discs pinched together, and the sides going together are like this, and the sides going to the metal, it's like this on both sides. So they work really great. Just want to feel that the bolts are going as they should. Okay, so I now put it to 240 Newton meters. So we are starting with that. We might need this one. And then we actually got, for wheel nuts, you get the star pattern you should use, and this is 10 bolts, so we are going with that. Just that we are in the right. Yes. Star there. So these no-lock discs, they are really eating it in. Check that out. So I'm hoping this ain't going nowhere. Alright, let's get the top off. This is one heavy tight fit, that's for sure. It's looking good, huh? Right, there we have it. And just use the bolt to pull it out. This socket has been stuck on here since we started this project. And it ain't coming off easy. Okay, this one fits. Yes, it does. Somewhat. Okay, let's get the other one in before we do more here. But you can see proof of concept that was working just great. that is how far I got today, or this is so far I will get today, because I thought that the old tilt cylinders that was on this tilt would fit the hoses and everything, but I can see now that the old cylinders has a lot bigger bore here than the old one has, so these fittings here won't fit in these pistons, so the new ones. So that was a little bit sad. Tomorrow is also closed, so then I won't get any further today. That's too bad. Everything else is done. This is pulled all the way in. It's secured like it should be. It is a little bit tight. Hopefully when I start using it and can start tilting up and down, there will be no problem. Everything will ease out, the paint will grind away, and we will get some grease in between, and yeah, and so on. And I also need to make a few bolts, or buy a few bolts to have here, so this will fit like it should. You can see now these ones are a little bit short and these ones are really long, so not meant for this. So that was just something I had laying around. I will take the whole Tiltrotator down to my local shop where they make all the hoses, and then we will make a couple of them coming down like this, and under here we will have the split so we can take it up. And yeah. So I've been going through all my hydraulic spares and bits and stuff that I have lying around, and I think I managed to find this is something from the Cobelco that got broken off, one of the pistons, and another shop fixed. So that's one part, but I think I have what I need. So there is the part from the Cobelco that is with this from the original tilt and to the connection I have on the Terex. This one is actually from the Hinova, when I fixed the hydraulic ram on that one, welded on a new nut like this. This end is actually what I used, but this was fitting in here, and this fitted there, I think. So then I have one piston, so if everything goes as planned, we can actually take it out now and test run it on the Terex with just one piston, just to see that all the functions are working and everything. The only thing I will do before that is change out all these grease circs and get some new ones on there, so we can get some grease in this one when we have it on the Terex rotating. But the hoses ain't long enough, so this one, it fits but barely. Could probably use it. The one for the rotor is further down now, so the one for the rotor is just too short. So yeah, for today I just have to Frankenstein it together, so we probably can run it and just pray that it doesn't leak. Okay, first test. Please don't let it squirt oil everywhere. forgot to tighten that. So, when you have built something, the first thing you should do is brute force test it. Not really, but that's just the way I am. So, flat on the ground, let's see if we can tilt the machine up. And keep in mind, we only got one piston running now. Oh boy, this actually works. Something I built actually works. Wow, that's just amazing. I do see it rotates a little bit slow, so I will do the same as I did with the Encon. I will change it over. So I'll just move the hoses on the machine, and then we are running rotation on the auxiliary outline, and the tilt we will run on the extra auxiliary that I mounted myself. If you haven't seen that, go back and check out this video. So this was actually pretty strong just with the one piston, so I think with two should be no problem using it. Now it's just locking the bucket in place, like that. Bucket is secured. Let me zip tie that, and then we can just test it a little bit more. Even I shouldn't with these hoses, but Alright, as a proof of concept, it works great, no doubt about it. I do need to make a tilt stop. You can see the piston how it was bending on the end, so that's not good. So we have to do that, and else, I don't know, I think it's perfect-ish. Need new hoses. As you can see in the video outside test running it, the piston was bending really bad, and I thought, okay, I need to just make some bump stops to stop the tilt, because the tilt is going too far, but of course that's not the problem when I get my head around it. So I just had that piston off and measured it, and it's 32 centimeters from the top here to the bottom there when it's all the way extracted. And if they are the same, I am missing 1.5 centimeters here. So something is off. Yeah, I think I know what it is, and that's probably the problem is I didn't measure this. When I installed this, I didn't measure everything. I had it off 1 million times, or I had it tacked on, as we could see, but I just tried it by the hands. I didn't measure that we had the right distance, so that was probably a bad mistake. Because like it's now, I need to cut this off again and move it up 1.5 centimeters. So that will probably give me more tilt, or I just need to move it 1 point something small centimeters, because we're also going the other way, so the travel is limited that way also. But so I have to do the same here, and when I do the same 1 centimeter up here, I can go 1 centimeter more down like this, and yeah, the same. So yeah, that's the problem. Too bad. Hate cutting in new painted stuff, but that's what it is. Should probably tested everything before I painted it, but who has time for that? So I moved it over there, and it's the same story. It's 30.5 centimeters from top to the bottom there, so that is the problem. That said, this wouldn't be a problem if we only run one piston. So maybe we should only have one. It was strong enough as what I could see now, so but will it be stable enough? That's the question. Maybe this piston is a little bit too small for just running one. Yeah, it's easier here. And just take the big angle grinder and just go one straight cut here, lift it up, fill it in, maybe just put in a plate right under, mark it up, cut it out, and then weld it together again. Nothing worse than that. It could have been worse, so. Nice and easy. So now I have the distance, just need to grind them, and then we can start welding them on. Didn't cut it perfectly straight, but that one was a lot better. First one, but that's the way it goes, isn't it? The first one always get a little bit crooked or something. Check out what a mess I can make. Oh boy. But I'm in a moving process, so that's why I haven't done anything right in here yet. As we saw earlier, I cut these distance blocks so we could make this longer. Now it's time to weld everything together, and hopefully the guy that are making me the hoses, or the shop that I have the hoses, I got a guy working there that can come in the afternoon or in the weekend like today and help me get everything sorted out. So I will just clean up a little bit here so I get room to work and no fire hazards when I'm welding, and then we will level everything off here and just weld everything and paint it. Alright, quick little cleanup here so I have room to work, and yeah, what I want to do now is to get this plate level, and when I get that plate level I can make sure that these are level according to this. and then I know that they both have the same height and everything, so we don't mess up there again. So that's what I will start with. Then this one is hopefully in its final form. I put on some really big beads here. I probably need to grind a little bit to get the bolt to sit correctly, but first I run with a smaller stick, so I burned a good amount in, since I didn't bevel it, and I did that on all the splices, and then I just went over with a bigger rod afterwards and filled in, and yeah, as you can see. So, not the prettiest, but that's how it is when you don't measure before you weld. Sadly, should do that all the time. Tack everything in place, measure, test, and then weld it. I just get a little bit too eager with welding when I'm building something, so. But hopefully this will work just fine. And yeah, I will just take it outside, grind a little bit, and then I'll see if my friend at the shop that are making the hoses are available this weekend. Then we can go down there and make the hoses. Alright, there it is, finally ready to go to the shop, get some hoses fitted, some new bolts. So I dropped one driving on, need a few shorter ones, and with a locking nut on. There it is, hooks up and ready to go. For now I just zip tied everything here just to see how it works. This is the pinching point, so I need to see that everything gets room in here, or if I have to twist the teeth in here a little bit more to get it flatter. Probably I need to get this one a little bit flatter, I can see. And yeah, and this one for the rotation I want to get under here like I had before, one connection under here, so it will keep that hose going together with that one all the way up there. But let's just fire up and see if it moves. Oh, and maybe tighten all the hoses. Still doesn't have the travel we need. Look at the piston. It bends. Fuck. Oh well, that sucks. Really sucks. That means I have to cut it off again and even get more space. And I did off camera measure to see that we had the distance needed, so it's not much that we are missing. But a little bit too much. You can see this one was also struggling, so when this piston is all the way in, this one is still trying to get out, and the same when we go the other way. Oh well, that sucks. I was really hoping it was just getting it on, getting the hoses and everything secured and just start digging with it. But I guess a tiltrotator isn't built in a week or 2 or 3. But I have all the hoses, so next time I can just tack everything together and see that it actually fits. I think my solution is pretty easy actually. I will remove one piston and only run with one piston, and that should eliminate my problem. Then it can go as far as it wants. Let's just try to take it off and see how that goes. So now we can go full extent without any problems. Alright, then question number 2 is, do we have enough power doing this? So let's check that out. Okay, let's test and see if we have some power with only one piston. So what I'm trying to do is just to see if it will lift the machine when I have it over the ground like now, and it won't do that. So I don't know, I think it will work perfect for what else. Let's see if we tilt it and put it on the corner and see if it will hold. Oh boy, I think we can say for sure these pistons ain't made for this kind of weight. Holy fuck. I think that one's ruined. Did lift it though. Yep, there the seal broke. So this piston is ruined. You can see the seal is poking out here. Alright, then we know that does not work. So still have one piston left, but as we can see, it's not ideal for this thing. It's too weak. We need something bigger and beefier, and we would need to build for only one piston. So I need a bigger piston, 20 centimeter stroke length, and only for one side, not for both sides. That's just too much hustle, I see. Shit. Did not work as planned. Oh well, back to the drawing board. Alright, I checked the internet. This rod is 20 millimeters. I can buy one same length, everything that is 50. So I will do that, and then we will weld that to fit this one, and we will remove the connections on this side. I will only run on this side, and I think that is the way to go. Yeah, I think so. That will be pretty great. Can probably use this one still. I just don't need to lift the machine on the piston, and just use it carefully, and as long as it's only me using it, shouldn't be any problems. So we'll charge the camera a little bit, and we'll build it over to a one piston system, and yeah, go from there. I hadn't any time for wait for the camera to get some power on it, so I just went ahead and I found some other hoses I had laying around from the Encon tilt I had on the Terex last year, and those was fitting right on here, so just hooked them up, and yeah, this is working pretty good. Shouldn't try to tilt it with the bucket on the corner and the machine in the air, but I'll just clean up the hoses a little bit, get them tucked a little bit out of the way so they don't get caught up in something. And yeah, I actually think we will go out tomorrow and finish off a job I'm working on and test out the homemade Tiltrotator, and then that can be this video, and we will probably do another part when we are changing out the piston for something a little bit more beefier. And here is the carnage from my test. Oh, yeah, it's a little bit bent, I would say. Yeah? But you learn something every day. That's the most important thing, I think. Though I know what not to do. Not order two small pistons. And for the two piston idea, I think it's too... You have to be totally centered when you are measuring it out and everything. So I was probably not. So it's easier to build it with just one piston. So if you're planning this, just build it with one piston. Much easier. Alright, first test of the homemade Tiltrotator. As we could see yesterday, there is only one piston on it now, and probably need to be a little bit careful with it, but this is more for testing. I posted on Facebook yesterday, and most of the people are saying that the problem is I have the connection on the side. I need to have it liner with this going up here, so I need to make something out on the side here. So we will see how we will do it. I will order one with a 50mm axle instead of this little 20mm. But let's go test it and do some excavation with it. Okay, then this mission we will test the homemade Tiltrotator with the tiny pistons and this one in the wrong place. You can see this one is bent a little bit already, so I don't think it will last forever, but we'll see how it goes. And the project is to level out everything so he can place these rocks. So we're going 10 centimeters under the level he wants the rocks, because he needs sands also. So he is out with my new tractor mini dumper, I don't know the name of it, even the blue one, and we are using that one and the Terex today. So I'll just lubricate up the Terex, and then we can start leveling the level here and make everything level so he can place the rocks some other day. So it should be a nice, quick, easy mission and a good test for the Tiltrotator. I can see the piston bending while I'm excavating, so I'm changing over for the excavation bucket. This is not made for excavation. You can see how bent it is already, so that will be, it will not last this job if I'm not doing anything. You can see there the big bend it has, so better to quit while we are ahead. So that's too bad, but that's how it is. Back to the drawing board. Oh, here is the Tiltrotator after we had it out, testing it and tried to use it for excavation, and as we can see, the piston is pretty bent. But as the guys on the internet told me, and I didn't think of this, I have to admit that you get the wrong position of the power, because now it's trying to go in this line, and you have the piston out here, and it will bend no matter how big piston I put on it. So what I need to do is order the new piston with the 50mm rod, and then I will need to find a pipe that just fits around this and weld some ears to it and make another mount up here. But I will move everything to this side, because on this side you will always see it from the excavator. This is the side you don't see on the excavator, so it's better to have it on this side so you can keep track on it and everything. So that's the plan for the winter, to do that. Now it's dark outside, it's snowing, buckets for the tractor is freshly painted, and soon they are going out and clear some snow, and then we'll have some videos of that instead. But for the Tiltrotator, I will continue this when the workshop is up and running as I wanted. We haven't had time to do anything in here this summer. It has been way too much work and no time to stay in here and play with stuff, and yeah, we are nearing the end for the excavation season now, and when the excavation season is over, then we will have a little bit more time and do stuff in here. So that will be probably maybe a separate video. I will see what we will do. So but anyways, so thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed the video, and there will be a part 5 sometime during the winter where we hopefully will make this Tiltrotator work like it should and be ready for spring when excavation season starts again.